p.m. and we are on the back of a tuk-tuk to go back to the Angkor Wat area. If you watched my last vlog, basically we were in Siem Reap for less than 24 hours. Sorry if it's loud, we arrived here yesterday afternoon and headed to Angkor Wat. We didn't get to see as much as we hoped, so we decided to postpone our drive to Phnom Penh today by a couple of hours, wake up early and head back for sunrise and to see a couple of the surrounding temples. So that's what we're doing now. We're both quite tired, but the tuk-tuk has woken us right up. It's so noisy this time in the morning. We're back! So we've been dropped back at Angkor Wat Temple. We're going to stay here until the sun rises behind it. It is light now, but the sun should rise behind the temple. It's about 6:30 now. The other temples we want to go to open at 7:30, and then we have a couple of hours to see those before we need to head back to the hotel because we get picked up to go to Phnom Penh at 9:30. So we only have a couple of hours to see the temples we want to see, but hopefully see a bit more than we did yesterday. We've now got the task of finding which tuk-tuk driver is ours, and to me all the tuk-tuks look the same and I can't remember what he looked like.
Our second stop of the day was Bayon Temple. The temple's most distinctive feature is the multitude of serene and smiling stone faces of the Buddha on every side of its many towers. However, the site also includes an impressive array of well-preserved carvings depicting a combination of scenes from history, mythology and everyday life.
I don't know if you can hear that on camera. That's bats. So we're currently at Bayon Temple. It is so quiet. We got here about 5 minutes before it opened at 7:30 and there was only a couple of other people walking in. So if you want to get to the temples before the crowds, come early. We've just been dropped off at Prohm, which is the final temple we want to see. It's well known for being in Tomb Raider. Apparently it is a fair walk from where we were dropped off by the tuk-tuk, so he's going to meet us on the other side, which is very handy. I did say in yesterday's vlog, but we only got 1 day tickets, so I booked our 1 day Angkor Wat tickets in advance through their website. We didn't plan on coming back again today, so we have had to rebuy entrance tickets, which has cost another $37 per person. Lesson learnt really, but it's absolutely fine. We've also had to pay $20 for the tuk-tuk, but that's great. It's so easy to get around with the tuk-tuk. I definitely recommend. Definitely book your tickets in advance. I'll leave a link to the Angkor Enterprise website below. I just booked it through the main website. Apparently the ticket office is about 7 kilometers from the main entrance to Angkor Wat, so where we were yesterday and where we were this morning. So it is a fair trip away. So if you just want to get straight to the temples, get your tickets online. You just have to upload a photo of yourself and choose which day you want to go and how many days. We've just got into Prohm now, so the walk to the entrance wasn't that long, but I believe it's quite a long temple, so that's why our tuk-tuk driver is meeting us on the other side.
Unlike most Angkorian temples, Prohm has been left in much the same condition as it was found. The temple was built without mortar, and after it was abandoned, trees took root in the loosened stones. The temple was referred to as the Tomb Raider Temple or the Angelina Jolie Temple due to its depiction in the film Lara Croft Tomb Raider in 2001.
It is much later on now, if you can't tell by the slightly different hotel. I just wanted to jump in here and say we are so glad we went back to the Angkor area to see more temples today. Definitely more busy at sunrise in the main Angkor Wat temple. We didn't quite see the sun rising. It wasn't very orange, but it was just a different atmosphere and something a lot of people go to see, the sunrise at Angkor Wat, because it comes up behind the temple. I will say the early start was worth it. Although it was busier at the Angkor Wat temple, the other temples didn't open till 7:30, so it meant we could get there for opening and there was hardly anyone there. The way to do it is definitely hiring a tuk-tuk. Definitely book one in advance if you can, otherwise you might face what we faced yesterday where we couldn't find any and we were just walking around in the heat on our own. There is absolutely no way you can walk between all of those temples unless you have unlimited time and can really cope with the heat. The breeze of the tuk-tuk was lovely. It was obviously not as hot today because we went earlier in the morning, and yesterday we were there in the heat of the day, probably between 1:30 and 5 p.m, so it was hot. I will leave the information of the tuk-tuk driver we used below, but you can also book them through Viator. You can do half-day tours, full-day tours, there's all different options. We were obviously travelling to Phnom Penh today, so we only did a couple of hours, but we are so pleased we did, and we definitely feel like we completed a bit more. There is no way we could have seen 70 plus temples, but just seeing a couple more made us much happier. So anyway, next part of this vlog we travelled to Phnom Penh. We were picked up at 9:30 in the morning from our hotel in Siem Reap. I booked a private car through Viator. It cost around £95. Yes, it is expensive, but there were some bad reviews of the shared buses and coaches, and I just thought, you know what, I would rather be in our own space for the 5 to 6 hour drive. The flight times today didn't really work out, but I'm glad we did the car. We did stop off for lunch. There is a set place that all the vans from this company stop off so that you can get lunch and go to the toilet. So we left at 9:30 and we got here by 3:30 in the end. I'll leave a link to that in the description below as well. I would really recommend our driver. He was really lovely and it was just so easy. But yeah, the rest of this vlog is from our afternoon in Phnom Penh. I feel like we got a lot done considering we were here for much less time than we initially planned. We're on a tuk-tuk again, but now we're in Phnom Penh. We just went to go to the Royal Palace and it was closed, even though we googled everywhere and it said it closes at 5 p.m. It's 4 p.m. right now, and everyone said it closed at 3 or 3 o'clock. A little bit confused, but we did see some people in graduation capes and hats, so it might be because there's an event going on. Did have a little bit of a Google, and apparently there's not much information about it in there, so not many information signs, so really you just go in there to take pictures. As we were leaving it, a guy with a tuk-tuk approached us about going to see 2 other temples because that one was closed. We negotiated and got it for $20, which is the same as what we would have paid to enter Royal Palace and walk around on foot. So for this we get a tuk-tuk around Phnom Penh and see 2 temples, and then I think we'll grab dinner before heading back to our hotel, and our hotel has a rooftop pool that's open till 8 p.m, so we're definitely going to go there. We literally dropped our bags in the room and headed straight down because we knew that Royal Palace was about to close. Turns out it closed earlier anyway. A lot of people don't do the Royal Palace because it's quite expensive. It's $10 per person to enter, so for backpackers on a budget they don't generally see it.
The first temple we visited is known as the Golden Temple for its lavish use of gold paint. Yes, it's not actually made from gold, but despite its bold exterior, the interior of the Grand Hall is also very impressive, featuring large gold statues and colourful floor-to-ceiling murals depicting the life of the Buddha. We then headed to Wat Phnom, which stands on the only hill in Phnom Penh and lent the Cambodian capital its name. The grand main entrance runs up the eastern stairway with its path guarded by lions and naga, the mythical snakes of Hinduism and Buddhism. Each year, a giant animal is made out of wicker and displayed at Wat Phnom to represent the Khmer New Year.
So we're back in the room now. It is just gone 8 p.m. We're so pleased we spontaneously ended up going on that little tuk-tuk tour. The driver was so good and he was stopping at all different parts to tell us information about different things, and then he took us to the 2 temples and he took us around one of them and told us all about it. We did just bump into him randomly on the street, but I did take a picture of his details, so I'll leave that in the description. I know there's also the Killing Fields and the Genocide Museum here, which a lot of people go to, but everyone I know who has been has said it is really emotional and they ended up just crying, and that did not sound like the kind of day we needed today, especially because we've had a very action-packed week and a half and we are both very tired. Doing something that emotional didn't quite give holiday vibes, so we gave that a miss, but we did enjoy going around the temples today. We feel we made the most of it. The driver dropped us back by the night markets, we had a little bit of a look around, and then we headed to dinner to another restaurant that we found on TripAdvisor. Our hotel seems to be in the perfect location. We are right overlooking the river and there are loads of restaurants around. Obviously only here for half a day again, so not been able to use all the facilities, but the hotel is lovely. We have, however, managed to use the infinity pool on the rooftop, which is so lovely and has such an amazing view. So after dinner we made sure we had enough time to head up there before the pool closed at 8 p.m. Jack has now gone for a massage. I need to shower, sort ourselves out for tomorrow, because as I said, one day in Siem Reap, half a day in Phnom Penh. It was meant to be more than half a day, but we stayed in Siem Reap for a little longer. Tomorrow we are heading to Koh Rong, which means another fairly long travel day, but we should get there by early afternoon. Luckily we are there for 3.5-4 days, so it is finally our relaxing side of the holiday. We won't be moving for a few days. We currently have no plans while we are there, so it is a complete relaxed, restful few days to get our energy back before we head on to Bali. I know we didn't do Siem Reap and Phnom Penh for very long and you really could spend a lot more time here, but if you haven't seen my previous vlogs, we're doing a very fast-paced route between 3 countries in 3 weeks, so obviously can't see it all, but it's nice to see little glimpses of everything. Before I end this vlog, I will do another room tour. Usually they're at the beginning of the vlog, this time at the end. There is actually a sky bar above the pool as well. I didn't actually go up there to take any clips of it, but I'm sure if you're interested you can Google the name of the hotel, Harmony Phnom Penh. Okay, so as you come in the room, on the left hand side we have the wardrobes. Oh, how cool is that? The light came on, I didn't realise that before. We just have Jack's suit hanging up here. We cannot forget that tomorrow. If you've watched the previous vlogs, we have had to take this everywhere as extra hand luggage since Hoi An. There's robes there and slippers. We have worn these to go up to the pool, and then some hanging space. We've got mini fridge, safe, tea coffee station over here, and then over here we've got the bathroom. Look at the size of this shower. It's a lovely walk-in shower, that's so nice. This is actually a window, but we closed the blind for some privacy while we went to the toilet. There's the toilet, and then we've got this nice big sink area over here, hairdryer on the wall there. And then over here we have full-length mirror, won't show the state of me at the moment. And then we've got all of the bags we've dumped over here. We've got desk area, TV, and then another lovely big bed, just some nice bedside tables. Here's the clear window that we have the blind down on, and then over here we've got big windows. I will open them, but it's obviously dark right now, but I did take a clip of the balcony view earlier. You probably can just see my reflection. Let me see if I hold it close, if you can see. Oh yeah, you can kind of see a glimpse of some temples and then some tall office style buildings behind it. Can you tell we've been travelling non-stop for a week and a half now? I look so much more dishevelled than the first vlog. So I'm going to end this vlog here, try and have an early-ish night because we've got another early start tomorrow. We're getting picked up at 7 AM, which actually isn't too bad compared to some of our other starts. The next vlog or few vlogs will be from travelling from Phnom Penh to Koh Rong and our few days on Koh Rong Island.